everyone. How are you doing? I'm back here today. My name is Betty Adepoju, popularly known as Betty the Boss Lady. I'm here today again on our program, Issues Around Women. Like I mentioned the other time, this program is here particularly for women to know the reasons why we have issues like rape, why we have gender inequality, and most especially, why do men think they are superior than women? Like the other time, I have in house with me today our guest, Mrs. Omolara Garuba. We'll be right back after the short break. Don't go away. You are welcome back, everyone. We are going straight into the program right now. I have in house with me, like I mentioned earlier, Mrs. Omolara Garuba. Hello, Mrs. Omolara.
Hello, Betty. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, it's nice having you again. I just see that we still need have some nuts to crack because last time we didn't really finish on the topic women, a career women. So that's a very important question I want us to talk about. How do career women cope with their kids, especially those of them that have younger children?
Okay. That's a wide question, and I'll just say it in a few words. Okay, so what I believe now is that the pandemic has actually given us a blessing, and that blessing is the fact that people can now work from home, and that has given more women the opportunity to be with their children and still work from home. And I see that has helped a lot, and I pray that most organizations will continue that way. That has been what has helped a lot, and then some people have had capable hands with them. Some people have their mothers at home, they are trustworthy and they can take care of their kids. Some people have nannies that are responsible. That has just been the trend. But outside of that, it's a bit difficult to manage your career and a growing child. So you have to be able to balance it in such a way that there's a capable hand at home when you're away, and then when you're around, be around for the children.
Thank you so much, Lara. Now, coming to the issue of, because now you mentioned that some people have their mothers around, some people have nannies. It brought me to the issue of nannies that maltreat children. How will a career woman cope with this kind of situation? How will you know the right one to take? How do you go about it?
Okay, so we've heard a lot of bad stories about nannies from hell, teaching children many things, sexually harassing them while you're away from work. In fact, there was a story way back then where a nanny took the twins out to beg for money.
Wow.
And the mother was back in the office thinking that the children were home.
Wow.
So I think right now what has happened is a lot of background check needs to be done. So don't just go to the village and pick somebody because it's a relative. It's my uncle's child. What do you know about the person? So a lot of background check has to be done. A lot of hospital tests has to be done. And now I know mothers that put CCTV at home just to be on top of what is going on at home with the nanny. And without sounding too religious, a lot of prayers has to be done.
A lot of prayers.
A lot of prayers.
Do you think it's prayers that needs to do this, or putting in more action?
Because you have to work. and make money as well. So we cannot literally say that everybody must stay at home just because you now have children. Because even the men, they are looking for who to help them financially as well. So you have to be able to balance it with put every check in place. If you don't have a mom that can come, if you don't have a sister that you already know, so you have to just put all those checks in place. Sometimes when you are break, just pop into the house without notice. Those kind of things on a regular time, and then do all that all the time. Put cameras around the house. Because sometimes, even when you take their babies to daycare, you don't still know what's going
to happen.
So, like I said, after you put all the checks and balances, you still have to pray.
But still going back to the issue of getting a nanny, getting a maid, getting trusted and like your sister. We are still coming back to this after this short break. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. We're still on the program Issues Around Women. We're still talking about career women. Our guest in the house, Mrs. Omolara Garuba, is still here with me. Yeah. Our next question goes to sexual harassment in the workplace. What do you have to say about this?
Well, that is an age-long issue in the workplace. It's been like that for a long while, and will I say fortunately, unfortunately? Fortunately, I've never really directly experienced it, but I hear my friends that have experienced it in the workplace, where it's time for promotion and their boss, who is another gender, tells them that if you don't sleep with me, you can't move to the next level. Wow. And it's obvious that they have done so well, they deserve to be promoted. There was a case that I heard of. I was on a panel of interview, so we were doing series of interview for fresh graduates, and about 40 of a lot of them, we had 3 weeks interview, and then we concluded and shortlisted the people that were taken for the job. And then there was a particular girl that was on the list that was not taken. So I kept asking around that what happened, that we recommended this girl to resume to work so she can have her offer letter.
Okay.
But I don't know what happened. I was moved for another project. I couldn't follow up. Years after, I met the girl working somewhere else. So I started gisting with her and what happened? We had an offer letter for you. It never came back. She started laughing. She said, Auntie, I'm surprised you didn't know that the man amongst you told me that they are not going to employ me until I sleep with him.
Wow.
The shock on my face was, I said, so why didn't you speak up? She said, she's just starting her career. She doesn't know how people will take it. That some people might say that she's the one that went there and started giving her. I said, no. Women need to learn to speak up. There is no way we can end it all, sincerely. There will always be corrupt man or corrupt boss somewhere. Man. But women need to learn to speak up. In the workplace, if you have been able to identify the sexual harassment issue, then you write. Look at the policy of the organization. Make your formal complaint and follow it up until something is done. Because apart from you might be shocked you are saving another person's life.
Yeah. Coming to women speaking up. It has gotten to a point that even for women to ask for their rights in the place of work, in the office, it becomes difficult for them. Do you think speaking up will in any way bring solution to this problem we are trying to address?
Speak up will always bring solution. The issue now is if those women are willing or have the confidence to speak up. Maybe because of the background that I had. I came from a home of all girls. We were never given the opportunity to think that we are not enough. So I'm used to speaking up. And then the fact that I studied law. So it's not an issue for me until I started hearing people say, no, I don't want to lose my job. Let me just manage it. I don't want to do this. Let me just keep quiet. Everybody must speak up. If you think you are being harassed in any way, you should, because tomorrow you'll be shocked how other people will go through the same thing and they may not survive it. So if you had spoken up, I had an issue in one of the organizations I worked with. I will not mention names, and I was harassed, not sexually, but everything I did was wrong to whoever I was reporting to.
Okay.
And I was coming from a background where I had enough experience. So coming to a new place and somebody saying everything I'm doing is wrong is somehow to me. So I kept on it and was checking whether I did something wrong. I discovered that I was doing well. She just couldn't take it.
Oh, it's a woman like
yes.
you?
So I took it up. I asked for the policy of the organization. How is this done? Bullying is not allowed in the workplace. So I wrote. I wrote to the group, I wrote to the whole bank.
Wow.
And they called the panel. I went to the panel without fear.
But don't you think it's because she's a lady like you that makes it easy for you to do that? If it had been a man, don't you think they may feel otherwise?
Otherwise in what sense?
Like maybe you feel intimidated because you are reporting to a man or stuff like that. Well, I feel don't you think it's because she's a fellow woman like you? It made it easier for you to take the action you took.
No, for me, nothing will have been different.
Even if it's a man?
Yes, because it was affecting my mental stability, was affecting my productivity, was affecting my work. And so if I wasn't functioning anymore, why wouldn't I speak up?
So that, in summary, what you're trying to say is that for every kind of attack or maltreatment you have in a place of work, as a woman, you should speak up. Don't allow anybody to make you lose your confidence. We are still coming back to this after this short break. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. We are back to our program, Issues Around Women. And right here with me, I still have Mrs. Omolara Garuba. We're still discussing our topic tagged Career Women. Now, I would like to ask you, Madam Omolara, do you think a career woman will always do better than a full housewife?
Okay. Better in what sense? I need
Good.
to understand that.
When I say better, it's actually relative. But looking at taking care of the family, taking care of the kids, at the same time having enough money, who do you think will do better, a career woman or the housewife?
Okay, I want to look at it in two ways. Okay, we measure success in different ways. Okay. Some people measure success by I have a big car, I work in a big organization, so I'm successful. Okay. Some women measure success by I have a good home, my children are well behaved, and I was available to raise them, and they count it as a success. So it depends. So I don't see any reason why anybody should compare themselves.
Okay.
Oh, I'm an housewife, so I'm disadvantaged. I did not go to school, or I went to school, but I'm not allowed to follow my career
Passion.
path. Or the career woman says, oh, I have all the big cars, I have all the money in the world, but I'm struggling, my child was on drugs, I'm not available. So it actually depends on what each woman wants. So for me, a successful woman, a career woman, one. A successful woman is also a housewife if you are able to achieve that which you have been an housewife for. The problem now comes in when you didn't actually want to be an housewife. It's because of maybe you married somebody that said, no, you are not going to work. You stay at home. That's
Okay.
where the issue now comes.
Okay. Now, when if you are actually wish to be a career woman, and I won't use the word unfortunate, maybe you are unlucky to now marry a man that wants you to be at a sit at home mom, because I don't really like calling it housewife. So how do you handle that? That means you will not be happy. What do you think?
Well, it now depends on each individual, because the number one thing is if your partner is not in agreement, it's a tough call. You are trying to manage your partner to say, I can do this. Why are you not allowing me to do this? But the other question is the issue of communication. Have you actually sat down to say, okay, you don't want me to work? Why?
Okay.
I don't want you to work because I want you to raise the children. Okay. While I'm raising the children, I can actually work. And you give reasons why you think you can work and raise the children. Let the man go and think about it. But most women just flare up and say he doesn't want the best for me. I don't have time to communicate with anybody. And then sometimes some of these issues should be trashed before even marriage. So oh, this is the kind of person I'm going to marry. Or, oh, I can't do this. Let me look for the one that will help me follow my passion.
So, in a nutshell, it means that before you start at all, the issue of I want to be a sit-at-home mom, I want to be a career woman should be sorted out,
It should.
even before going into relationship or
It
marriage.
should. Because anything that doesn't make the other person happy will scatter a marriage. Both parties should be happy.
Scatter a marriage. Wow, that's very deep.
Both parties should be happy.
Both parties should be happy. But I discovered that these days most women are not happy, and that's the reason why we are having this program calling it just called issues around women. I've seen practical examples of where men actually make their wives believe that I want the best for you, I want you to be this, I want you to be that. But at the end of the day, you come to realize that yes, they want the women, their wives, to do well, but not more than them, not better than them. What do you say to this? What's your view on this?
I hear it as well, and I think it's unfortunate that any man would think that way. Because if you married a woman, she's your own. And whatever is her success is your success. So until a man starts to see it that way, then he himself cannot be successful. He can just be pretending that he's successful. Because if God says you are my helpmate, that means if you are successful, I'm successful. So why should you be? Are you in competition? If you're in competition with someone, it should be somebody outside, not your wife that you paid dowry for and you love.
So many things are to be put into cognizance before going into relationship or into marriage, which is, as a woman, you have to decide you want to be a sit-at-home mom or a career woman. On this note, we're going to end this episode. I still remain yours sincerely, Betty Adepoju, also known as Betty, the Boss Lady. See you on the next episode.